Hello and welcome to the Shadow Work series. In this installment, we're going to be talking about gene key and or gate 5 in the human design and gene key systems and how they relate to shadow work. In this challenge, this one I know personally because it affects my evolutionary component of my life, what I'm here to learn. And my biggest challenge sometimes is impatience with my parents or impatience with my children, impatience with the progress of how I'm doing things and how much I like to accomplish. So there's a lot of stuff here even that really gets to me too, because it's calling upon an understanding of what should I be surrendering to? And there is this little fear that's inside of me about fearing about what I should submit to or surrender to. But if I don't submit or surrender to what's good for me and what my soul wants, what ends up happening is that I start leading myself by my own fears and my different parts of me. There's a part of me that wants to contribute much to humanity, that wants to provide some sort of service or gift so they can have more patience with themselves. They can have more patience with the different parts of them internally. And when you realize the benefit of developing patience, what ends up happening is you start to relax more. And that's the part of submission that's healthy. It allows you to submit to stillness, to really find out what is most nourishing to your soul, because that's the complementary component with the shadow of hunger and the fear of never being able to be satiated. And that's in gene key 35 or gate 35 in the human design system. Now they feed each other. So the impatience feeds the hunger and the fear of never being satiated and the fear of surrendering leads you down a path to, let's say, for example, if I like to snack, which means there's this hunger, it's always inside of me. And there's a there's a benefit to fasting sometimes, even fasting from thought, fasting from emotional drama or dysregulation. Because what ends up happening is when you do that, then you can actually allow yourself to be fed from spirit, from the self internally, and from higher levels of knowing that want to provide you with direction towards paths that are the most nourishing for your soul. So before I get into more of the depths of this, I'm going to go into a story first. And then from the story, I'll talk a little bit more about the the repressive nature and the reactive nature of this shadow, along with the dilemma involved with this shadow, and how to address it from a more simple, practical approach. And then if you'd like to read more into it, then I have courses that go into way more depth, provide way more value. And if you aren't able to afford those, I even have meetup groups that I'll get into later on in the video. So without further ado, here is the parable. At this point, please close your eyes and visualize the story I am about to share. The parable of the river and the flame. There once lived a flame that burned brightly, brighter than any other. It danced at the heart of a great mountain. Fierce, passionate, alive, it longed to illuminate the world. But no matter how brightly it burned, it could never escape its cave. The moment it tried to move, it would flicker and fade. One day, a river trickled nearby, soft and slow, and it whispered, I will carry you, but you must surrender to my pace. The flame laughed. You move too slowly. I will find another way. For years, the flame tried to leap from rock to rock, burning bridges, rushing paths, and igniting sparks that quickly died. Nothing held. Meanwhile, the river flowed, gently shaping the mountain, winding toward the sea, timeless and patient. Weakened and weary, The flame flickered low. With no options left, it whispered, "Very well, I surrender." The river gently wrapped around it, not to extinguish it, but to carry, not with force, but with rhythm. And for the first time, the flame didn't fight. It flowed. And the moment it did, the mountain began to glow from within. Here's a quote: "Those who trust the rhythm of life become the light that guides it." So, welcome to this journey of this fifth evolutionary pattern of change, the code that governs rhythm, timing, and fostering trust. In your body, this specific challenge influences your nervous system, where you're caught in the shadow of impatience. Your sympathetic nervous system stays activated. You're on edge, restless, always trying to move forward, afraid to pause. This is more than a personality trait. It's an evolutionary survival mechanism that gets stuck. For many, it manifests as burnout, creative blocks, anxiety, relationship tension, or the constant sense that, quote, "you're behind in life." The repressive nature of this shadow is pessimistic. Because when the shadow is dominant, what it does is it doesn't feel like it should cling to any hope that things will change, that things will always be the same way, where nothing ever works out for you. And so you lose patience with life and you don't engage. The other is being pushy, and that's the reactive nature, where it always tries to push for an outcome and trying to bring it into this moment as fast as possible because it's afraid of being behind in its progress in life. So the dilemma is, do we let the fear of surrendering drive our ego into adhering to its own deadlines on how things should manifest? Or can we surrender to natural timing of how an opportunity is to unfold where one feels right about what to do or not? This leads to the gift of patience. And as you practice more patience with the different parts of you and what they're trying to urge you to do, but establishing new boundaries with these different parts so they can trust the guidance of your intuition and your inner authority, as you make more progress and as you find more flow, it will validate how things are meant to unfold. And as a result, you start to practice more patience. And the more patience you give yourself and their different parts of you, the more patience you cultivate. It becomes a constant feedback loop of patience breeding more patience. For those interested in doing deeper personal alchemy and wish to have a means of accelerating an understanding of shadow work, over the last 3 to 5 years, I have collected a wealth of information from various esoteric systems, namely the I Ching, human design, gene keys, the chakra systems, and astrology, as well as integrating them with the human genetic code. And in this chart, you will find the details of all the different shadows, all the different fears, the specific fears that fuel those specific shadows, all 64, all in relationship to each codon. And in this wheel, you will find 4 legends on each corner because they can't all fit on one corner or one side to make it a nice, evenly balanced square. So here is the statements from each zodiac sign. So you can see. And then we have the legend for each chakra. You'll notice that there are more than 7, and because there are more than 7 because it is including the spleen as a means to detect threats. So there's an intuitional center there. There's also a center of willpower called the thyroid, because when we are born, the thyroid is literally almost, if not as big as our heart. So we have to accommodate that. And on the other side of this, you will also find an understanding of the I Ching, hexagram system, the different trigrams, the relationship to the three-dimensional plane, the yin and the yang, and how each of the 6 lines are affiliated with different archetypes, thanks to the human design and or gene key system. And lastly, you will also find the human genetic sequence chart for all the amino acids associated with the human genetic code. But furthermore, you will also find in this chart all the different zodiacs, all 12, mixed with the human design gene key chart. Bear with me, my graphics card is not as fast as other people's on their computer, but you will see all the different fears, all the different shadows, and how they relate to each chakra in those colorful little dots. So you can see how it affects each energy center in the body and how each of them have their own repressive and reactive statements because there are 6 expressions in each challenge. Therefore, you will also find those 6 lines in there, all with their own repressive and reactive statements, their associated dilemmas from that specific shadow, which eventually will clear up, the gift from making the right choices regularly and practicing that gift with its own unique self-empowerment statement. So as you learn to vacate the trapped emotions such as sadness, fear, anger, shame, and guilt, and you will reorient towards true self-alignment and honoring the intuition and inner authority that you possess, it will lead you towards the grace specific to that challenge. So if you would like to learn more about this and or you would like to download this file for your own personal means of translating your specific challenges in the human design system or in the gene key system, it is all there for you. All you have to go is to my website and download this PDF file. It's about 50 megabytes in size. I hope you enjoy this and hope you enjoy this brief glimpse into this massive PDF with all the details about all the specific challenges you'll have in your personal self-realization path. In order to find this PDF, a link will be found down below in the description of the YouTube video. When using that elaborate and vast chart of information, you can use the human design apps found in the App Store on Google Play so that you can choose whichever speaks to you most. And as you choose whichever human design app works best for you, you can then use that towards the chart. So you get your information and your numbers. And then after that, you can use the chart as reference. For example, I use the human design app, which helps me see the specific numbers that I need to see in the top right-hand corner. The red are the unconscious. These are the ones that were imprinted when the soul decided to remain anchored in the body about 90 days before you were born, between the second and the third trimester. The black numbers indicate the conscious, more aware challenges that you know you have in your current life, based on your survival challenges and your adversities currently going on in your life. You can also find that same application in the Human Design App Store for iPhone and or iOS before you start using the chart that you have purchased online. Thank you very much. And if you ever need more information on this and you wanted a free consultation in understanding the current challenges in your life and how it relates to human design, feel free to reach out through the links below. You can also visit thegenekeys.com. There, you will also find a different kind of chart. It relates to the same challenges and same numerical sequences as found in the I Ching and Human Design. And there you'll be able to find a free profile link where you can then enter in your personal information in this field and then have a look at your specific gene key profiles and understand your genus sequence, your Venus sequence in opening up your heart, your love sequence, prosperity, and finding inner harmony. Thank you for watching this short introduction into the wheel of evolutionary change and the chart that I've shown you in brief. And hopefully through those apps and through this PDF, you will find a way to decode the challenges you face and understand how to make the best choices for you and everyone you are meant to impact positively in your life. Now back to the shadow work and the evolutionary change in this video. Here is why the shadow exists. Impatience didn't appear out of nowhere. It's a stress-based inheritance from a world addicted to urgency. In our biological evolution, moving fast often meant survival. Acting without hesitation was necessary in the wild, in war, even in ancient famine cycles. And yet, as consciousness evolves, we no longer survive best through speed. We survive through attunement, through trust in timing. In fact, impatience isn't just a reaction, it's a break in rhythm, a disruption in your body's ability to sync with source intelligence. And when I mean by source intelligence, I mean the intelligence that governs all matter in existence. When you fear you're falling behind, when you force life instead of flowing with it, that fear isn't just mental. It's ancestral, it's biochemical, it's programmable. And that's why it's powerful. There contains a divine paradox. And this specific one holds one of the most sacred. To master time, you must stop trying to control it. The longer you fight with time, the more distant your essence feels. The more you trust the rhythm, the more your presence expands. This is why this high ascended state of grace, of timelessness, is the ultimate expression of this challenge when mastered. Timelessness doesn't mean escaping the clock. It means that you are no longer governed by the fear of time running out on you. You speak, move, and love from presence, not pressure. This is the spiritual invitation of this evolutionary challenge, and you can't rush it. There's a grace waiting at the end of this path, but it will never arrive on your ego's idea of your schedule. It arrives when you learn to wait well, when you listen, when you allow the divine rhythm to move through you. This isn't passive, it's potent. It's how you become magnetic. It's how your true life begins. In the next video, I'll be exploring the shadow of conflict and the fear of loss, how it plays in your life's work or your relationships or your purpose, even your creativity. But for now, ask yourself, what if waiting isn't a delay? What if it's preparation? As for what I said in the beginning of the video, you can get a hold of me through the description. There's an email link down below. You will also find a link to meetup groups that I host that will help you, along with many others, to navigate these shadows with a bit more comfort and understanding. If you're not into meetups or you've been on the platform and it's not for you, you can also visit my website, also linked down below in the description, and there you will find links to 3 different resource folders. One for the divination systems that I'm speaking about now, the other for emotional intelligence and mastery, and lastly, the other is for emotional trauma release. All of them have free resources to help you navigate your inner world so that you can deprogram yourself, acknowledge your fears, your angers, all the different emotions that you've got, and understand the questions that they bring. So you can bring more pauses in your life for contemplation and allow your true sense of self to emerge and have dialogue with those different parts. So you can have a balanced dialogue with patience for all your different parts so that you can find truly nourishing experiences that you're being pulled to as opposed for you being pushing to get towards. God bless you on your journey. Namaste and good life to all of you. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to serving you in the next video.